Hello all, James Johnson aka Sulphur Blade, and God willing, I'm here with the final episode of Pentiment. So let's go ahead and jump into it and see if we can't bring this series to a close. If I have to be honest, it's because I get to finish so few Let's Plays that I'm putting this much effort into this one because I'm so near being finished. But I'm quite over this particular game. I just want it to be done at this point. I'm worried this might be the last one I'll be able to send before snow closes. I should get some sleep. So, I guess it's time to sleep. I feel like I already slept, but okay, we'll sleep again. Mr. Struckerin, only one letter for you today. The pass is nigh impossible to traverse, and the heavy snow is hard on the horse and me. Anyway, happy Advent, my dear. Thank you, the same to you. A reply from Jacob Essler. Mrs. Druckerin. I do recall the Rothvogel case, though it has been over a decade since I have served as an archdeacon. I'm no longer associated with the office of the Prince Bishop. In fact, I'm no longer associated with the Catholic Church. If you do not mind conversing with a Lutheran, I will tell you what I remember. The notes you mentioned do stir something in my memory. One of the men I questioned at Kearsau was an artist from Nuremberg, Andreas Mahler. He mentioned finding notes written in fine hand, inciting individuals to violence against the Baron. While the scope of my investigation was too narrow to look into the matter, it did concern me. Finding more notes now, after so many years, must mean that their author is still active. If this is the case, a serpent has lain coiled in the bosom of your community for decades. It may lay there still. What causes this serpent to awaken every few years to stage a new killing? I fear that finding the answer to that question may draw you into its reach. However, if you are determined to find the source of the trouble, I believe you must inquire with your neighbors. I urge caution in your investigation into this matter. If the serpent merely sleeps, it may be dangerous to poke into its old resting places. I hope this has been of some help to you. May God bless and keep you safe. Jacob Essler. No reply from Esther this time. It must have been delayed due to the heavy snow. The postman said I won't receive any more letters until spring. I'd better get back to the rat house then. Still more work to be done. How long does it take to walk to the rat house? Evidently several days. Are we about to be at Christmas? It's Christmas Eve. Good morning, Dad. I finally caught up on the mural, and now I can start the final part today. I promise I'll get it done. Magdalene, I'm proud of you. Thanks, Dad. I'm sorry Dr. Stoltz said you can't come to the festivities tonight. I know how much you love the perched tenlof. There's always next year. Right. How are you feeling? Dr. Schultz said he would come by again today. Fine, fine, I'm fine. Are you sure? Do you need anything? No, go on, I'm alright. In fact, my spirits are lifted today. It's Christmas Eve, after all. Of course. What's wrong? Dad, I found a note back in November. A note? What do you mean? It was like a note I found in your plans for the murals. Just a scrap of parchment. It looked like it came out of an old manuscript. Elaborate writing, purple ink. It just said stop. Do you know where they come from? Who wrote them? Magdalene, Oh god, that must be Otts. He said he dropped by with more firewood. If you know something, I'd like you to tell me, alright? I know, I will. Can we talk about it later? I'll be back later. Good, take care of yourself out there. Morning, Magdalene. He said my full name. Morning, It's cold out, isn't it? Freezing. Makes me envy Nico, able to stay inside all day. Even Endris has his forge to keep him warm. Anyway, here, I brought some firewood for you and your dad. Thank you, Ots. You're welcome. So, how's your dad? You think he can join everyone for Christmas Mass? I think he'll stay in bed tonight. I'll do my best to be there. I need to keep working on the mural, though. I'm working on the final section. About the peasant revolt, right? It feels weird to talk about it affecting Tassing so much, but we were just kids. I can't remember what happened since I was just a baby. I never even knew my dad. That's what makes it difficult. I need to ask those who were already adult that night, but don't want to touch raw nerves. What if you spoke to people while everyone was preparing for the Christmas festivities? Sometimes talks about that night. Clara sometimes talks about that night. Mom, too. You might be able to ask them. Woslav and Matilda are the only two Benedictines left in Tassing. Maybe they'll talk to me. Huh, I didn't think of that. Still, the mural is for Tassing, not the old abbey. Agnes has always been in Tassing, right? I'd go to her if I were you. Dad said she helped bury everyone who died that night. I wonder if she'd talk about it. That's useless. She hates when anyone talks about the revolt. It's your project, Madeline. Might be worth a try. I wrote to the old archdeacon about it, too. He thinks the Baron's murder and Otto's death are connected to the revolt. The who? The man who came to Tassing for the Baron Rothfugl's murder. What about him? He was judged for the Baron's murder. What if all the deaths in Tassing are connected? I don't see how that old Baron has anything to do with the revolt. Are you feeling alright? I think you're looking for connections that aren't there. Maybe this mural project is getting to you. I need to get to the bottom of this, Otts. There's something more to this, all I know it. If you're sure. I'll figure it out somehow. Thanks for the wood. See you later, Max. Ugh. Otts is right. I should start talking to people around town. I better get started if I want to talk to everyone before the perch turn off. We're going to talk to Agnes. Magdalene Druckern, I didn't expect to see you today. How's your father? Yeah. It's not well, honestly. Oh no, I'm so sorry. He'll be in our prayers tonight. Ours as well. Now then, is there something we can help you with here? Do I really want to point out she's old? I have a small favor to ask. Oh, go on then, spit it out. If it isn't too much trouble, I'd like you all to recount what you remember of the revolt. I'm nearly done with my mural, but I need more details. I was so young, I don't remember much of that night. Oh, for that project of yours in the rat house. I'm afraid I won't have much good to say about the matter, but all right. Come sit down, Magdalene. Don't worry about helping with the wreaths. It took me years to get the technique up to Mom's expectations, so you're better off not helping. Bah, you always did fine, Brigida. So Magdalene, what do you need to know to finish the mural? I was hoping to ask you more about the revolt. It seems so important, but no one ever talks about it. All I can remember was the flames when the abbey burned, but I was so young. What part of the revolt? The abbot starving us out of house and home? Otto's murder? I doubt that would be a good painting. Seems like the abbot at Kearsarge wasn't on very good terms with Tassing. Everyone but that fucking Miller hated him, with good reason. Yes, well, for an abbot, he was very unchristian. He only ever cared for how many pfennigs he could get from us. Vegeta, don't forget to twist the ends in. Can't have it look like a Christmas hedgehog. I'm getting there, Mom. I've looked after Martin and Kraft well enough, haven't I? I can manage this. Yes, well, after your father died, I've got no one left to nag besides you and that husband of yours. Thank God I have the both of you, as a matter of fact. Let an old woman have her vices. After that bastard artist got your father killed. You mean Master Mahler? Dad said that none of that was his fault. Not his fault. Not only did he intervene into Tassing's affairs once, but to stick his nose in again. That man sneaked and dug up secrets best left to the ground, and what did it get us? He accused my husband of killing a noble, of all things, and the archdeacon. Mom, forgive me, but I could kill that man. And then to come back and start a riot amongst the peasants? Oh, he deserved that fire. Mom, calm down. It was 20 years ago. And some of it came to good, right? After the abbey took Attila's house away, she stayed with you. Yes, that's true. God provided a place for her to live in Tassing. The Lord sees justice done in all things. He knows my Lucky's heart. I've always heard the night was a slaughter. Dad always says the townsfolk didn't stand with the peasants as long as they should have. Did the revolt accomplish anything? Did the revolt accomplish anything? Well, the entire matter was a horrible bloody mess, but did restore peace in Tassing by force. A shame it had to happen at all. I think I knew that revolt was a bad idea from the start. Old Wojslav would be the only one to know what happened inside the old church now, before the fire. Some like to say things were always this bad, that violence was the only way, but it wasn't. Life got worse over the years. It wasn't like this when I was a child, not in my grandparents' time either. Sure, the abbot was pinching the townfolk and the peasants were suffering, but to go against the church? But like you said, things weren't always so bad. We fought to make things right. A foolish fight, and to think I delivered a baby. Your friend Esther, in fact, during the whole event. That's right, the Sommerfelds were in town because of all the revolts around then. Her parents couldn't get home. Praise God she made it home. A babe on the road in those days, a miracle, I say. But things got better in the end, right? Even if so many people died. What kind of good comes from violence? I've never seen Peter so angry. Well, what can one do against a mob holding torches? That soldier even warned Peter, but nothing would stop him besides steel. So nothing got better at all? No, not as I see it. The Lord is just as severe as the abbot was, and threatens force at every turn. That's life. You can struggle and die to accomplish something, and nothing changes. Fighting or working, it never matters. We starve and die in the end. The dead are luckier. They died believing they changed something. We're stuck with the harsh reality. This is all you've known, Magdalene. You've grown used to it. We all have. Thank you for sharing your story for me. It's important to share our suffering with the younger generation. Maybe they can change something. Good luck on the mural, Magdalene. Good luck, Magdalene. It seemed like a pretty useless talk, actually. Crafting wreaths. What is it wanting me to... The golden hand to prepare for Christmas feast. Some of them. Alright. Who are these people? I don't know them. Hands. Ah, Wojslav. God bless you, Magdalene. Wait, that's all you're gonna say to me? And evidently my character decided to walk up here on its own, so I guess I'll talk to Hannah. Good afternoon, Magdalene. Killian? Hi, Max. Sorry I can't talk for long right now. Well, of course, Magdalene. I didn't mean to be impolite. It's alright. What's keeping you so busy? You know, setting up for the Christmas feast. I do my best, but it's not easy with Mom and Dad shouting at each other a lot. Nothing really gets done until I do it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. They've been gnawing at each other ever since I was a kid. Dad spends a lot more time away from the inn. It's not a very busy time. And when he's around, they can get into arguments over any little thing. Really? Everyone does bad things sometimes, you know? When the monks were around, they told us all about God's forgiveness. Wolslav talks about a lot too. So that's what I try to do, forgive. You've got a kind heart, Killian. Maybe. I just do what I think is right. How's your meal coming along anyway? Well enough. I'm trying to learn more about the days of the revolt. I suspect many don't want to talk about that time. Painful memories. I think you're right. I don't blame them. Dad hasn't spoken about it in years. Oh, I'm sorry, Magdalene. I really have to get back to work. Be well. Okay, well, Jetta, do you want to talk? Talking to hands, huh? Hello, Magdalene. How's the weather? We've been prepping for the feast in here all day. Colder than usual. I'm glad to be indoors now. It's been colder than I remember it being for decades. More snowfall, that's certain. At least we're in here where we can keep our fingers warm. You'd better keep your fingers out of my dough, Master Bauer. I didn't do anything. You snuck your little fingers into my cookie dough at least 3 times today. Do it again, and I'll wrap your knuckles with the back of my spoon. Don't anger Mistress Matilda, Simon. Yes, sir. Sorry, Mistress Matilda. We need enough dough to make cookies for the entire town. You can't be eating it all. Anyway, what did you come in here for, Magdalene? I was hoping you could tell me what you remember of the revolt. I was too young to remember much of it. No one ever seems to talk about it, and Mistress Matilda and Master Wolslav, you two are the only ones left who used to live in the abbey. The only ones who stayed, anyway. Matilda and I had been friendly enough with the people in town. We put it behind us in time. You can imagine the other brothers had little reason to remain. Old Adek made it out. I think Father Gernot paid for him to go back to an abbey in Cornwall. Fenric joined the Dominicans, and I became an inquisitor. I've seen him around these parts over the years. Time has turned him friendly enough, considering his vocation. I'm not sure what happened to the others, all gone in any case. But the whole thing is a sensitive subject, Magdalene. Why are you asking? I want to portray the event truthfully in the mural, so I'm trying to hear everyone's account of the events. For the sake of seeing it portrayed right, I'll tell you what I remember. Wait, Magdalene, here. Come cut out cookies with me first. That way we don't fall behind while we chat. We'd be grateful for the help. Alright, Magdalene, cut out cookies from the dough and set them aside so Simon can put them on a tray. We'll need a good number in variety of shapes, so don't hesitate to change which cutter you use. We have to have enough for the whole town, after all. Heck? I think that's it. Are you done? These look wonderful. Thank you. You can make more if you want, but it looks like we have enough. I think that's good for now. Thanks for helping, Magdalene. We better keep going if we're going to have everything ready by the profession tonight. So what can we tell you, Megs? I heard the Lenchniks came into town before the revolt and warned everyone to leave the Abbey alone. Could things really have been talked out, or was it too late by then? Why didn't anybody listen? They were trained soldiers and they killed so many people. Did the abbot really think threatening you would work? There were some people who wanted to talk. Master Mahler worked hard to keep the peace, but after Otto was killed... Oh, Andreas. A shame how he died. We at the monastery were fond of him. Dad said he was instrumental in keeping the revolt from getting out of hand. He regrets not standing by him. Yes, he was. He had a personal dinner with the abbot to try and discuss things, I believe. A pity they couldn't come to an agreement. Yes, Andreas did a lot of good for Tassing, and Curacao too. Even if the old abbot failed to admit that. He even revealed corruption in our own midst. The old prior Ferenc had been doing witchcraft in the church. I still grieve that he died in the Abbey fire. I know your father does too, Magdalene. But wasn't the revolt in general justified? Yes, I think so. We couldn't even collect in the forest without a fee. Dad kept saying we couldn't live with higher and higher taxes. The night Otto died, the abbot was trying to excommunicate everyone for celebrating St. John's Eve. A lot of people thought the abbot killed him in revenge. Turns out it was Brother Guy. He was embezzling funds from the abbey. Still, after Otto and Ulrich, that was too much. We burned the mill with both bastards inside. My father said that would be the end of things. Dad said he could pay the abbey with crops, but the abbey forbid it, and we had to pay the miller's fee. Lionheart kept asking for more, too, so he could use the stupid windmill. Why not just pay with grain? The abbot promised to help if Andreas found the person who killed Otto. All we wanted was to talk. You mean no one was supposed to burn the abbey down? Why would anyone want that? We sought justice, not murder. It was too much for Peter. Learnhardt was one thing. He just killed Ulrich. But to burn the abbey? But when the Lanchniks saw the fire, they thought they had another revolt in their hands, like so many others in the area. Even we in the abbey couldn't stop them. We all fled. Brother Florian saved as many as he could, but Peter was wrong to burn the abbey. But what the soldiers did, that was awful. I thought that knights were supposed to protect people, like in Parzival. Rarely does real life match the heroism of stories, Magdalene. Dad died protecting me, stabbed in the chest. I don't even remember what he was wearing, but I remember how dark the blood was when we found him. Almost black and sticky, like what does that say? Like shreds? Dad socked one of the soldiers in the face, but another was right there, and Magdalene, can we stop talking about this? Of course, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset anyone. Thanks, Magdalene. It's hard to discuss sometimes, you know. Good luck. We'll see you at the procession later. Until then. Clara. Clara's husband. You tell me Clara was married to Peter? I thought Peter was Clara's father. Huh. This whole time I was thinking that Peter was Clara's father, but it was Peter that was Clara's father. I'm confused. Okay, anyway. Big Jorg, Grat, Clara. Hello, Magdalene. I would have thought you'd be working on the mural today. What brings you here? I'm working on the final section of the mural now, about the revolt. It's going well, but I need more details. I was only a baby at the time, but you all lived through the event. I want to portray it in the best way possible. I'd like to sit with you and ask how you remember the rebellion, if that's all right. That was a sad time. If it will help you memorialize those we lost in the revolt, yes, I'll answer a few questions. I don't mind, I was a little older than you, so I probably remember more, Magdalene. Of course, Magdalene. We'll tell you all you want to know. I've been looking forward to seeing the mural for some months. Come now, sit with us. Now that you're all settled, what did you want to know? Did the revolt have anything to do with the other murder that happened in Tassing? Oh, the murder of the Baron, you mean? No, not really. I only remember that Andreas attempted to be a peacekeeper in both situations. I suppose that's when things started going poorly. Oh, poor Agnes. Lucky was a strong man. She's still heartbroken over the matter. I spoke with her. She blamed Andreas for Lucky's death and said that he caused most of the rioting. Agnes loved her husband. She never sees him as capable of doing anything wrong. I can't say that Andreas was wholly uninvolved with Lucky's sentencing, but he only helped the peasants during the revolt. Yes, it was really only after the Baron's murder that the abbot became so severe. I'll bet he blamed the Baron's murder on Tassing, and the Abbey's failures too. I don't know about any of that, but his taxes and restrictions and his attitude towards us became harsher after that. It was all we could do to live by them, but it eventually became too much. Even with all the restrictions, was the revolt really justified? I keep hearing conflicting stories about how it began. Agnes blamed Andreas for starting the revolt. Is that really true? Agnes is just angry about Master Mahler because she thinks it's his fault her husband died. Ursula enough, Agnes has a right to her grief. Andreas only ever sought peace from what I remember. He took it upon himself to try and keep justice in Tassing, even though it wasn't his home. He was a mediator for us with the abbot, and after Otto died, he promised he would find the culprit, and he did. Truly, it's thanks to him that we had peace for so long. We did everything we could to keep things from getting violent, but the Lord had other plans. All we wanted was fair access to common land and taxes that left us with enough to live on. But the abbot tore even that away. I remember how sick and hungry I was all the time. Grandpa kept saying it hadn't always been like that. All was fine until one of the brothers killed Otto in retaliation for finding out just how corrupt the abbey was. Well, my husband wouldn't let that rest. We all wanted justice. When the soldiers arrived and threatened us, all the townsfolk pulled away, except for you and Ulrich. No, Clara, I'm afraid even I was intimidated and begged Ulrich to leave the matter be. My husband, alone, stood with the peasants. Why did all the peasants revolt anyway? So many people died, they must have known it wouldn't succeed. Dad always talks about how he regrets that choice. That's why he wanted to paint the mural. Could the revolt have succeeded if the townsfolk didn't pull away? Why did all the peasants revolt anyway? So many people died, they must have known it wouldn't succeed. Father Gertnut was a terrible man. He sought to control over the temporal realm rather than service to his underlings. Father Gernot called in the soldiers to stop us, and that scared the townsfolk. By then, we were so starved and wanted justice so much, Peter truly thought success was possible. There was still some discussion. Ulrich and Andreas wanted peace. Then that fucking Miller protected that something bastard. He always hated us, though he was better than us. Thought he was better than us. Ursula language. What, Mom? It's true. Learnhardt even shot Ulrich out of nowhere. It was unprovoked? Yes, Learnhardt always did hate the rest of the townsfolk, and he would take advantage of anyone he could. My husband sought peace to the last. He was a martyr to us. I think the miller shot Ulrich to retaliate, but after that, Peter couldn't be stopped. We lost too much. The burning of the abbey was a grim night, and the soldiers coming in. Our men fought to protect us, to protect Hassing, and many died in that fight. But we got rid of the abbot, and all the monks at least. Yes, and that is some comfort, if only a little. Are there any heroes of Tassing I should memorialize? Dad, definitely. Peter always wanted the best for Tassing, even if he acted rashly by setting fire to the abbey. I hope you can portray him in the best light, Magdalene. I'd rather not talk about that night anymore. I hope we provided enough insight for your work. You did, thank you. I'll let you get back to work. Thank you, Magdalene. I'm certain the mural will be beautiful. I don't think Peter was a hero. I think Peter frickin' caused all of the shit to happen. Sorry. Time to go to the commons for Pentiment. Christ, it's too damn cold. You shut your mouth, boy. We've done this festival every year. You won't die standing here for 5 minutes. Oh good, you made it, Magda. I was getting worried you would miss the procession. I wouldn't miss the Perch Love for the world. I've been so busy trying to finish the mural I lost track of time. Truth be told, I'd rather be inside by a fire. I lost track of time. Well, be sure to take some time to relax tonight. It is a feast day after all. It's starting. Oh, Artemis, looks so lovely. I'd love to be the bright saint one year, leading off all the demons into the woods. That's the only type of boys that'll follow you, Artemis. Apollo, stop that. Sorry, Mom. Christina, see the Birchton? So scary. I don't like it. Andreas? Shh, Andreas, you're alright. They're only costumes. Big mess that our neighbors are wearing, remember? Ah, it's so cold. Magdalene, would you want to be the bright saint? Or one of the Birchton? I don't think I want to be part of the procession. I enjoy watching. Oh, really? You're normally so outgoing. I guess watching is a better view, though. Doesn't seem fair. Artemis gets to be the bright saint since her dad is on the town council. You'll get your chance. Don't worry. Tassing's done the pension off as long as I can remember. Everyone in town's been a part of the procession before. Well, except for you young ones yet. I wish Dad could be here. He'll see next year, surely. And you can go home and describe it all to him. As beautiful as ever. As goddamn long as ever. Well, at least we're going to eat after this. Oh, hey, Mags. Magda? Whatever, Mags. You made it. I was worried for a minute you'd skip out on the fun. Merry Christmas, Mags. Merry Christmas, lads. Look, Baltus made a special batch of beer, and I heard you made cookies, too. Alexander and Kaz look like they're going to play something, too. Did you forget Casimir's name, or are you giving everyone nicknames tonight? That's a secret, Mags. Come on, let's go get some food. Ahem. Hey, everyone listen up. Jorg would like to speak. Yes, thank you, Veronica. On behalf of the town council, I wanted to thank everyone for coming tonight. This year has been tough on all of us. We've had more snowfall than anyone can remember, and the early frost gave us a small harvest. Folk haven't come through the pass as often. Nico, you've been short of customers, and we've all missed the trade. Alexander and Casimir, you've been kept from your journey. Ganazo, the snow has kept you from returning home. And I know we've all felt the lack of Klaus in town, as he's been bedridden these past few months. And yet the Lord has blessed us with each other, cheerful guests, and good company. Cheers. Amen. Thanks be to God. God bless. Even though this season has been rough, God knows we still have a lot to celebrate this Yuletide. Endress, you've made tools we couldn't have gone without. Just practicing my trade. Dr. Stills, you've kept us all in good humors. A proof of my experience in such cruel weather. I thought this was from that. Thought this was from the town council, not to it. keep listening. Magdalene, you've painted the mural for us. I only wish my father was here to celebrate its close completion with you all, as do we all. Alexander and Casimir, you've spread good cheer in the early winter nights. Our pleasure, truly. And especially tonight, I think we should thank Baltus for making such a wonderful beer for us all to enjoy. Here's a hooray for Baltus. No, please. Can now help tremendously. It's thanks to him, really. Ah, well, grazie. And thanks to our Lord, who has so graciously provided for this feast. Thanks to the man's deep pockets. Yeah, Lord protect us. Casimir and I shall play later in the evening, so please come to us with songs, if you have one in mind. Sing the shepherds, da-da-da. Oh, well, that's it, everyone. If I may, Jorg, I'd like to bless this great feast our Lord has provided for us. Of course, Father. Today we've come together to celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Just as the Lord has provided for us with this meal, so did Christ provide us with the bread of life. So please join with me in prayer. Bless us, our Lord, and these thy gifts which we are about to receive. Through Christ our Lord. Amen. Now please everyone, I know Baltus made a fine beer for Christmas celebration, but remember that temperance is a virtue. Celebrate the Christ child as though his manger were here with us. Merry Christmas, everyone. Finally, let's eat. Well, let's talk to Endress. Happy Christmas, Magdalene. Magdalene, dear. Merry Christmas, Magda. God bless. Merry Christmas, everyone. How are you enjoying the feast? Utterly delightful. A hearty meal, a mug of Baltus' latest brew, everything a soul could wish for. It's everything your ample belly could wish for. I am as God made me in his infinite wisdom. Even the ancient Greeks knew the sphere to be a most important shape. I can see you're all in a great mood. Possible not to be when I look at all the families gathered here tonight. The laughter of children running around, the love that brings a community together, we are blessed. It's certainly better than all the arguing. As long as you have moments such as this to relax, that we may matter to each other. Realize we matter to each other. Well said, darling. Thank you. To the four of us. Nostraville. I'm so happy I married you, Andres. The day I was inspired to come find you in Innsbruck was the most important day in my life. I'd have been ever so lonely without you. Ah, love at long at last, we know the feeling, don't we, Welslove? The path before us was filled with thorns and thistles, but we endured. Make sure to prepare for that, Magdalene. There will always be some thorns on the path. I'll do what I can. You'll do fine. You're strong and stubborn, just like your mother. I hope so. I'll let you continue with your celebration. Stay safe, dear. Make the most of the night. You've earned it. Bless you, Magdalene. Enjoy the feast. God bless you. Oh, there's that damn doctor. Merry Christmas, Magdalene. A festive Yuletide to you, my dear lady. Merry Christmas to you all. How are you enjoying the feast? A crass man might complain of the lack of extravagance as compared to the big cities, but I love it here. And what a stirring speech by the big Jorg. His wonderful voice is just perfect for speeches. I don't think he likes giving speeches. A shame. We were just discussing the history of Christmastide, Magdalene. It is most intriguing. Oh, do continue. I'm eager to learn more. It is the most sacred season with Jesus. How could we be brought out of with Jesus? How could we be brought out of sin? As Malachi said, Jesus is the Son of Righteousness, a symbol for the dawn of a new era. Ah, the sun. The Romans also celebrated a sun god, Sol Invictus, right around this time of year. Emperor Aurelian even founded an imperial cult in which Sol played a prominent role in their mythic mysteries. Oh, that's right. They were festivals to celebrate the birthday of Sol in Rome. Bah, the birth of the sun. It's nonsense. Jesus is not some sort of a pagan sun god. As St. Augustine said, it is the most fitting time to celebrate the nativity of Christ. He who bent low and lifted up to choose the shortest day, yet the one whence lights begins to increase. What are your thoughts on this history of Christmas, Baltus? I find the practical matter of it most enlightening. Christmastide is the last feast before the cold of deep winter. Our lives are so dependent on the progress of seasons. Cattle are slaughtered to lower the cost of feeding them. We indulge in their sacrificial meat before the month of starvation. And so they keep us alive. Just so. In Genoa, we remember the Roman roots of Christmas, Saturnalia, as it was called, the winter solstice. Many of the traditions and rituals are borrowed from the Romans. Rome may have the first celebration, but the Arian heresy soon thereafter was a severe misstep. I've heard very little about the Arian heresy. It was a doctrine that stated Jesus, the Son, was distinct from God the Father. Arius argued that they are not same in essence, co-equal and co-eternal. We are fortunate Emperor Constantine put an end to this grievous error. And we are fortunate Charlemagne was crowned on Christmas Day, else its popularity may have recovered. Ah, you are ever grim. Lighten your mind, Werner. I rather enjoy your Christ kind, the gift bringer. A most joyous idea. So do the children. They love getting gifts. As do I. Ultimately, however, true, the various elements of Christmas, it is good because it unites the community. That is why we're here, to feast and be merry, and partake in the most splendid beer that has been brewed. Salutations to you, my friend Baltus. Indeed, it's truly excellent. Well done, Baltus. I admit it is most palatable. Ah, you're too kind. There is plenty to improve. Then I will help you hone the formula. You intend to stay in Tassing even after the snow has melted? I'm in no rush. The bank can survive for a moment without me. But my friend Baltus here, maybe less so. Haha. I've done very well so far, thank you. It's the season for giving, is it not? Won't you be in trouble for delaying your return even further? Trouble. What does a tiny bit of trouble matter to now, Augustine? Becoming stuck in Tassing is surely an act of God. I cannot control the weather. I am where I'm meant to be. Say, Alexander and Casimir, play such delightful songs. Perhaps a dance later. We'll see. Until later, gentlemen. So the doctor showed his extreme opinions on religion. Merry Christmas, Magdalene. Enjoying the celebration? It's wonderful to see everyone together in such high spirits. Isn't it? Even Grandpa is enjoying himself. This winter has been difficult for his gout. The cold makes his joints seize. I told him he didn't have to come to the birchen loft, but he insisted. I haven't missed one Yule procession in my life, and I'll be goddamned if some snow stops me. Cough. Oh God. We know, old man. Anyway, like George said earlier, it's nice to have a night of good company and cheer. Thank you for mentioning my father in your speech, George. You'll be glad to know he was missed. You're welcome, Magdalene. Klaus is a good man, and we all miss him as part of the community. To be honest, I didn't expect to make a speech tonight. I just thought about what happened in town this year. Really? Werner kept insisting that someone make a speech, so Paul said that I was the most charismatic of anyone on the council. He said that? Well, he said that I would make the least amount of people angry over it. Baltus said it was my charisma. That's one way to phrase it. To be honest, I never thought I'd be someone people in Tassing listened to. But you've always been part of the town council. We didn't always have a council, though. It wasn't until the night of the revolt, really, that I felt like I could do things on my own, be my own man. I loved my father, but what he did, I thought it had doomed the town. A lot of terrible things happened all at once. No one can shoulder all the blame themselves. No, but my dad chose violence. He chose to destroy the Abbey. I always went along with him because he was my dad. He had to be right. That night was the first time I thought any different. I learned that night that you can fight for something right and still choose the wrong way to do it. I swore that I would never let that happen again. The revolt broke down everything I thought I knew about Tassing, about myself. But it made a lot of things better for Tassing, and that makes me hopeful. What do you mean? Well, our new lord is strict, but he made a deal with us. The council lets us govern ourselves. As much as I was grumbling earlier today, Jorg is right. Life changed in Tassing, and even though the first few years were hard, we're better for it now. No abbot looking down on us, making stupid laws as he sees fit. Our Lord lives days away. As long as we pay our taxes, we're left alone. It's a better life for Artemis and Apollo than we had. Don't you talk ill of my son's boy. He gave you everything he had, God rest his soul. I know, Grandpa. So even though you disagreed with Peter's actions, they made a better life for you. The real work happened in the days after the revolt. My father would have been put to death as a rebel and traitor if he survived. He worked hard to make sure the sacrifices of those who died wouldn't be in vain. Done the best I can do, right by the town and Dad. You're his son. You've done him proud, boy. Thanks, Grandpa. Anyway, I'm going for another pint. Anyone else? Yes, yes, bring a pitcher. You've had enough, Grandpa. Humors might become unbalanced. Another for me, Jorg? Magdalene? I'll get myself another later, thanks. Alright, we'll see you later then, Magdalene. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. Magdalene, you finally came over to say hello. So you decided to use my full name now, have you? You asked me to. You've never listened to me before now. Heh, he's playing nice in front of us. Hello, Magdalene. Happy Christmas, Eva, Till. Magdalene, how good to see you. How's the mural coming along in the Rat House? Almost finished with it, I hear. That's right. The last I heard about it, you were still working on the middle section of the history of the Saints, right? Oh yeah, I may have told Mother Francesca that I wanted to become a sister so I could see inside. Oh, Magdalene, you didn't. Wait, you don't really want to be a nun though, do you? The thought occurred to me, but I wouldn't want to be a poor Claire. I enjoy painting and printing too much. That's a relief. What was that, Otts? You've got to speak up in here. Nothing, nothing. Anyway, Magdalene, what are you painting on the mural now? With the founding of the Abbey and the Saints' history done now, I'm working on the final section, the revolt. I spent most of today asking people how they remembered that night. I think I may have frustrated Agnes. That's right. You were just a few years old then. God, has it been that long? Oh dear, old Agnes, the revolt made her bitter, especially after losing Lucky. I think that helping Brigitta with craft has helped her recover, but I'm not surprised she didn't want to talk about the revolt. It took years for Tassing to recover after that night, thank God. We've come a long way since then. Otto would be proud of what the town has accomplished. It's a shame he died without seeing what the town became. It is. I pray that St. Moritz has blessed him in heaven for all the work Otto did in his name. I'm sure that the Lord has made a space for him, Eva. You know, Magdalene, I think he would be especially proud of you for memorializing Tassing in the mural. He would be thrilled to think that you'd become a part of the family. Oh wait, are you proposing I marry your son? You're a capable young woman, Magdalene. Marriage is the next stage in life for you. We'll have to speak with Klaus, of course, but you and Otz are a good match. Anyway, I don't mean to keep you chatting away with us older folks. Have fun and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Ava. Till. Merry Christmas, Hans. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Max. Ah, Mistress Magdalene, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Alexander. Merry Christmas, Casimir. Enjoying the night? Very much so. The cookies, especially. I haven't had such wonderful gingerbread in ages. We were just setting up to perform. Did you have a particular song in mind you want us to play? Between the two of us, we know all the Christmas songs, between here and Spain. Sure, that one. The one written by Martin Luther? I don't oppose, but are you sure we ought to? Why not? It's Christmas. If you say so. Since it is Christmas, Casimir and I wanted to share a special song with all of you in the spirit of giving. Please enjoy.
In dulce jubilo, nun singet und seid froh, unsers Herzens Wunde.
Is this gonna piss off the good doctor?
Und leuchtet als die Sonne, Matris in Gremio, Alpha es et O, Alpha es et O.
Is there a way to fast forward?
Durch alle deine Güte, o Princeps Gloriae, trae me poste, trae me poste.
Hello, Magdalene. Happy Christmas to you. Good evening, Magdalene. Merry Christmas to you, too. Ulrich, Andreas, hello to Mistress Druckern. Hi. Oh, Andreas, don't be shy. You know Mistress Magdalene. Sorry, Magdalene, he's still a bit quiet. Still not used to you addressing me as Mistress Druckern yet. We're raising these two to treat everyone with the respect and deference they deserve. Unlike you, who used to steal from the neighbors, haha. Hush, I grew out of that, Paul. Besides, you and the children steal the covers every night and leave my bones to freeze. How did you like Georg's speech, Madeline? It's a good reminder of everything we still have. We all need to hear it. For Paul putting him up to it at the last moment, it was well done. Well, Werner insisted someone on the council make a speech. I didn't particularly want it to be me. But Jorg did it justice. You can always count on him to speak from the heart, especially a few drinks in. Truthfully, I think much of the town needed some encouragement tonight. Tassing hasn't had such a hard season since the revolt. Yes, I'm sorry. It's Christmas. We shouldn't speak of such sad times. I don't think anyone can avoid thinking about it. I can't. You may be right. The revolt left a scar running through Tassing even after all these years. Although there's an old Latin proverb my dad used to say to me, Ignis aurum prot, miseria fortes viros. Fire is the test of gold, misery is the proof of a strong man. There's no question the revolt left Tassing worse off, but seeing the town now gives me hope. You're an artist, Magdalene. I think you can see it too. I think I do. Things seem brighter for Tassing somehow. Yes, those miserable days gave us the resilience we needed to push ahead, to make things better. The next generation, like you, or Judah and the twins, you saw what it was like for fight for ourselves. So stand up to tyranny even at the cost of losing our homes and lives. To be honest, most nights I'm grateful for the revolt. Really? Oh yes, you wouldn't remember, but life was already terrible before that night. The revolt burned away the dead wood that had rotted Tassing for decades. God knows my father was an evil man. His death released me from years of fear. The revolt gave me the courage to face him, to become better than him. I think something of the same happened when the Abbey was destroyed. If things had gone on as they always did, well, I doubt we'd be having such a Yule feast tonight. The cost was high, but it resulted in just as much joy as grief. I hadn't thought about it that way. You really think so? God turns all things for good, even the darkest of nights. Because of the revolt, I could marry Paul, and we can supply grain to the peasants at a fair price. Our children will grow up without the fear that ruled over my life as I got older. No moment in life is entirely good or bad, Magdalene. What matters more is how we choose to see it. That's a wonderful way to look at it, Anna. Thank you. Oh well, it's something I learned from one of Father Thomas's sermons. I took it to heart when my father died. Don't forget to take some time to have fun tonight, alright? Mommy, I want another cookie. Shh, don't yell, sweetheart. Excuse us, Magdalene, it seems we have cookies to fetch. Of course, Merry Christmas to y'all. Merry Christmas, Magdalene. I already talked to Big Jorg, right? It seems to want me to talk to him again? Alright, well. Hey Magdalene, sorry to bother you during the feast. Oh, hello, Jorg. Do you need something? Well, all the chatter around the revolt earlier had me thinking. You're nearly done with the mural, aren't you? The last time you talked with the council, you said you were working on the final portion, painting the revolt. I don't mean to nag during the feast, though. That's Veronica's job. I should have it done soon. I've been listening to people around town talk about the revolt so I can get a better idea of how to paint it. Everyone has a different idea of how that night happened. But I think I finally settled on how I want it depicted. Yeah? I want to honor what the peasants stood for. I'll show Otto giving a speech and the soldiers in the distance. It's a good perspective. It shows what happened without being too detailed about it. Well, what happened? I'm sure everyone will love it. Klaus would be proud of the design you've picked. Ava will like that especially. Anyway, I'll get out of your way. You've got better things to do. I think Otz was looking for you. He always is. I think I'll actually go home for the night. I've had enough of Otz flirting, and I should check in on my dad. Tell him hello from all of us, alright? I will. Good night, Jerk. Good night, Magdalene. Alright. I'm sure something's gonna... Oh. I was wondering if she would pop in. God bless you and Merry Christmas, Magdalene. Oh, Merry Christmas, Sister Amelie. Were we bothering you with the noise next door? No, not at all. Hearing people celebrating Christ's birth brings me great joy. Christmastide should be a heartening time of year for us all. I always think there's something healing about coming together to celebrate Christmas. All of us are part of the body of Christ. When we come together in fellowship, things are made whole. People need Christmas and the depth of winter to remind them that spring will return, and we will all have a chance to live again. Magdalene? Who is that? I don't know. Someone who's been following me. Please excuse me, Sister Amelie. I need to check on my father. Of course. God bless you. Thank you, sister. The door is open. Is someone here? Dad? Oh, thank God. Magdalene, is that you? What's the matter? Someone was standing near the house. The door was open. I was afraid something might have happened to you. Sorry, I didn't hear anything. I've been asleep most of the day, most of the evening too. I'm worried about you, Magdalene. You're worried about me? You're working too hard. I know taking care of me takes up so much of your time. And I know how hard you've been working on the mural. I'm still young, Dad. I don't get tired as quickly as you do. Well, certainly not in my current state. I'm not going to make it, Magdalene. Are you a doctor now? I know Werner Stiltz long enough to know when he's going through the motions. He's never been kind, but there's a special coldness to him when he's attending to a dead man. It's alright. This is just life. I'm glad I'm going before you, even if it's sooner than either of us would like. I've already seen too much death in my time. I wanted you to be proud of me. I have been, every day of your life. You've never needed to prove anything to me. I wish I could stay to see the mural when you finish it, but I don't need to. I know it will be more beautiful than anything these old hands have ever made. It's true though, I mean, I got along all right, but I always knew you would surpass me before long. You can already see things that I never could, see things and make them real. Trying. You're doing it. Whether I die tonight or tomorrow or the next day, I am not going to be here much longer. One morning you're going to wake up and you'll have to do things for yourself. Love things for yourself and you'll have to share it with the world. Love is the only reason to do anything in this life. Oh, all this talking too much. Could you bring me something to eat? Of course, Dad. You haven't eaten all day? And I missed the Christmas feast too. I can't believe no one brought me a cookie. I'll go get some soup. Klaus. I'm sorry, Klaus, about everything. You're here? I thought I could stop all of this. I've been trying to keep Magdalene safe. I think so. These days I feel like my mind has been cracking apart. I've been trying to keep Magdalene safe. I've been trying to figure it out this whole time. After the fire, that's all I could think about. That and them. They've never left me. They're all still there, all in the dance of death. Baron, Piero, Guy, Lucky, Peter, Otto, August, and now you. Dad? Oh God, it's you. Who are you? What are you doing to my father? Magdalene, it's alright. It's alright. Is this the abbot? Or did Andreas somehow live? I'm sorry, I've forgotten my manners after all of these years. And you've likely forgotten my face, or what it once was. This is Andreas Mahler. He lived? Back from the dead. The earliest memory I have is of you running into a burning library. I'm sorry. I don't understand. No one could have survived that. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I did. I don't understand, Andreas. Where have you been all these years? Hiding from the world? In the ruins, mostly? Sometimes in the woods when it was warm? Stealing bread from Grant, stealing books from you? Oh, so I wasn't going crazy. It's the only thing that kept my mind from forgetting what words are. Wait, how did you survive the fire? With some difficulty. I grabbed as many books as I could and threw them into the scriptorium. When the smoke got too thick, I started to black out. Next thing I remember was Caspar pulling me into the crisp. Your apprentice? The boy? You sent him back to Salzburg. He didn't leave. He waited in the woods and watched what was happening. When he saw me in the window of the library, he ran through the crypt to save me. And he did. But he saw that I was trying to save the books, and he went back in. I couldn't stop him. I was barely conscious. He never came back out, Klaus. When I woke up, everyone was dead or gone. I couldn't face any of you. I couldn't go back to Sabine, that empty house. So I hid. Why have you been following me? I thought you were trying to kill me. What happened at the mine was an accident. I just stepped too close to the edge. I'm sorry. I was afraid to talk to you, afraid to talk to anyone. Did you leave us those notes, the ones with the purple writing? Ah. No, those were written by a different occult hand. One that does not want you to finish your mural. One that has killed and may kill again to stop you from telling Tassing's history. Tassing's history, why? Because Tassing's real history is at odds with the story we've all been told. It's been covered bit by bit, layer by layer, until it could no longer be seen. But it's still here. It's always been here, hidden beneath our feet. And it's still protected, haunted by the specter of death that has hung over this place for generations. The thread puller. Thread puller beneath our feet? What are you talking about? The person who attacked your father is the same person who manipulated someone into killing Otto Zimmerman. And Lorenz Rothvogel. Yes, and they traveled through the Roman aqueduct that connects Tassing and Kiersau. It's a network of tunnels I've become quite familiar with, and I've seen the ghost that haunts them, that can squeeze through the tiniest opening. I've seen it bend itself in half to reach places I could never follow. I've traveled along every inch of the aqueduct and the old city, but there's one place I have never found. The lair where the thread puller retreats to, the ancient Roman temple that it is determined to hide from view. The Mithraeum, you found it? No, but I mapped out a darkness between the collapsed tunnels, and I believe I know how to get there. Come with me, I'll show you. Now? If the thread puller becomes aware of what we're doing, well, I don't know what they'll do. We need to act quickly. Will you be alright? Yes, I'll be fine. Protect my daughter, Andreas. With my life, Klaus, I promise. Alright, let's find the Mithraeum. The rat house? What are we doing here? When the men dug the foundation, they found Roman ruins that had been buried over time. They wouldn't waste stone, so they used the Roman wall as one of the cellars. There's a way inside to the hidden place. Yes? Alright, into the Rathskeller. Well, it's nice to see Andreas alive. Alright, that wall is different. Does that mean this is the place? No, it's two-sided, new and old. This was above ground once. It carried water. Look. Alright, I think I can make it out. Cornelius today and 6 Mithrium. Cornelius goes to the baths today and completes the 6th rank in the Mithrium. You see? No, there were cults of Mithras all over the Roman Empire. We know there was a Mithrium in Tassing, but this is just some graffito from an initiate. How does it help us? Well, here. This is the aqueduct. Yes, and it will take us to the baths, then to the Mithrium. Alright. There. After you, please. The decorations, these must have been the baths. Doesn't look like there's a way through. Silt. All the floods kept carrying it down here. Hundreds of years of floods. What if we can't get through? What if it's buried forever? It's too early to get discouraged. Let's keep looking. More stairs down. Would something be below the baths? The Hippocaust. They used warm air to heat the room above. Roman colonies in the north often had them. Let's hope those haven't filled with silt as well. Do you know where we're going? These pillars just kind of go on in all directions. Andreas, could you look that way? I think I'm going to try exploring ahead. Of course. Wait, now I'm playing as Andreas? How could you abandon your work, Andreas? I thought you were a true artist, a master of your craft. But all you wanted was... what? Did you even believe I was the one who did it? Or could you just stomach my death more easily? An eye for an eye, Andreas. You may have condemned me, but in doing so, you damned yourself as well. Master, why did you send me back into the flames? No, this isn't right. It can't be here right now. How did I get here? Andreas, you're still here. Yes, for a little longer. I thought I had gone mad. Not yet, not entirely. But you have been on this road for a long time. You must leave this place forever, Andreas. You must abandon it for good. But how? What can I do? I don't even know how I got here. This was once a place of refuge for you, Andreas. But has it become a prison you constructed to protect yourself. From what? From pain, from risk, from life itself. But I can't stay here, I have to help Magdalene. How do I get out? Andreas, you are the architect. I will help you as best I can, but you are the only one who can answer that. Heck. Hello, Andreas. That you, Sabine? Yes, of course, I'm still here. Part of me will always be here with you. We haven't talked in so long, why? You reminded me of August. It wasn't all bad, Andreas. We lost him, but we had 4 years together. They were happy years, weren't they? It's hard to remember. This great black pain blots out all the joy. I know. It was hard for both of us. I don't blame you for anything. And you should stop blaming yourself. It may be too late for us, but it's not too late for you, Andreas. It's not too late for Magdalene. Yes, Magdalene. I have to help her. You can, Andreas, but you have to leave this place behind for good. I know, I can. I will. You will. Thank you, Sabine. Will I ever see you again? Not in this place. Maybe someday, in a better place. In a better dream. Master Andreas. Oh, Casper. It's really you? It's so good to see you again, Master. How can you say that? I just wanted to help you, Master Andreas. You couldn't think straight. You shouldn't blame yourself anymore. I let my family down, I let you down. I couldn't stop Peter, couldn't save Tassing. I couldn't even save more than a couple armful of books. You did what you could, Master. Everyone knows you did. And that's all any of us can do. Alright, Casper. Thank you. Thank you for everything you taught me. Wait, what happened? This was the way out. Before I started to Casper, I know this was the way out. Your mind is fighting itself, Andreas. It remembers the pain of life. It's trying to protect you from it. Beatrice? Yes. Thought you were gone. You brought me back. Oh? So what do I do now? Keep going? Well, I guess. It's been so many nights, so many years without seeing your face. I thought I'd forgotten it. Quietly waiting for me. I can't change the past, can't cover it up. It's always there under the surface, no matter how I try to bury it. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. It's alright. What? It's alright, Daddy. It is? You don't have to hide here anymore. What about you and Casper? And your mother? We're not really here. And there are people who need you. What if I can't help them? I don't know, Daddy. I'm too little. I think you have to figure that out on your own. Of course. You're right. Thank you. Love you, Daddy. Love you too. Good night, August. Good night. They shifted again, the walls. It's still trying to protect you. No. It's not? No, I mean, no, I don't have to do this. This is my mind, my maze, and I'm leaving. Good. But this next part might be confusing. What? I don't understand. I don't understand any of this. Why are you holding the maze? Two things are merging in your mind. You and... There are layers to everything, even our memories. Over time, the foundations become buried. We can no longer recall how we got here, no longer recall what came before. And what came before? Our Lady watching over the labyrinth, as I watch over you. And even this has roots that reach deep into the past. There was not always a lady to watch over the labyrinth, but there was a labyrinth. What? I don't understand. Sister Amelie? Is this real? Am I still in my mind? You are here with me, and we are here in spirit. You looked like Patrice a moment ago. Patrice, I don't know her. We are in the tabernacle, the heart of the labyrinth. Your spirit was wandering and brought you here. But I don't understand. How did you leave your cell? I have not. We're only here in spirit, Andres. This is real, and I finally experiencing that which I have only read about in the testimonies of mystics. I told you long ago that reading cannot communicate spiritual experience. But yes, this is real, and you need to be afraid. You need not be afraid. Have faith. If you are here with me, it is the Lord's will. Andreas? Sister Amelie? What are you doing here, sister? This is the center of the labyrinth, the tabernacle. It is where the Lord sends my spirit to do his will. He has also guided your spirit here. There must be a purpose to it. No, this isn't my spirit. I walked here through the aqueduct. You were confused, Magdalene. It's understandable. My own visions have perplexed me for all of my life. Even though this seems strange, even though it is a place of spirit, it is very real. The Lord has called me to this place for many years. He has always made his will known to me. Soon he will make it known to you. Sister, how does your spirit come to this place? Through the door between life and death. When my spirit hears the call, it descends through my grave. Here, the bell, the Lord tells me what messages I must bear and to whom. Oh, it's almost impossible for us to reach this place. I used to think my affliction, my pain, was a curse. I know now that it was a gift from God. A gift that allows me to bend my body as I bend my soul to his will. There is no place in Tassing or Kearsaw he cannot reach through me. Wait. I thought I had given up the pen forever until the visions returned. No. When fire took my abbey, I couldn't save my sisters. Not one. All I could grab was a single book and a bolt of cloth. I couldn't understand why God had spared me alone. But he showed me. God had a higher purpose for me, for my hand. Father Thomas explained it to me. He makes everything clear. He tells me what I must do, what the Lord wills me to do. It was you this whole time. You wrote the notes. I found one by my dad when he was attacked. Sister Amelie, you pushed those people into committing murder? What? No, that can't be true. My Lord would not use me for such purpose. Calm yourself, sister. We'll figure this out. This doesn't make any sense. Why would Amelie want anyone dead? No, I wouldn't. He wouldn't. There was nothing in his messages about murder. No, I'm not here. This can't be happening. This can't be happening. Hog? And here comes that damn priest. Alright. Sister Amelie, shh, it's alright. Father Thomas, how did you get down here? Tassing is an old place. It's buried many ancient roads and tunnels over the centuries. People walk above the hidden ways every day without even knowing it. Though in truth it was Sister Amelie who rediscovered them first and found this place. Wait, the dimensions of this room, this is the foundation of the church. Father Thomas, did you? In other circumstances, I would be enjoyed to see you, Andreas. In truth, I'm still happy you are alive, thank God. But I think the occasion of this reunion leaves little to rejoice about. You. You and Sister Amelie were behind all of the murders? No, she had no part in this. But the notes, she wrote them. She did, but she did not understand their purpose. I guided her. I told her what to write. You abused her love and her trust for your own purposes. He who wishes to follow love's way must regard neither cost nor shame, nor pain. He must stand to everything, even her most terrible commands. I'm ashamed to admit it, but yes, I did. To what end? What was the point of all this? Look around you. What do you see? A room in desperate need of cleaning. Paintings of Roman gods, Mars and Diana. Look closer. It looks like the statue of St. Moritz from the meadow. And the image of St. Sadia from the shrine. I don't understand. It's St. Moritz and St. Sadia and Mars and Diana. How can it be both? The saints are the gods? When the Romans left Tassing, their buildings, their temples, their statues remained. Christians settled here centuries later. They found tiny, worn fragments of that imperial grasp. The statue of Mars, Pater that once watched over the Roman fields, stood there, still headless and nameless. The settlers believed it was St. Moritz, who was already a legend where they had come from. They found the shrines to Sadia, not understanding she was an aspect of Diana, believed she was another local saint. It's not uncommon for stories to borrow and change characters from older tales. But these are not stories, Magdalene. These are saints, our saints. These settlers did not see them through pagan Roman eyes, but through Christian eyes. No one knew they were Roman gods because there was no account of what the Romans did and left here, except for Historia Tassae. But Historia Tassae was not known then. Perhaps it had not even been written then. Who knows how long that book had been lost for before it made its way to Father Matthias. And you killed him for it. Yes, with poison. No one suspected. Hold on, who was Father Matthias? He was the abbot of Kyrsa before Father Gernot. He was a good and honest man, one of the most forthright abbots I've known. When Father Matthias learned that there was no evidence that St. Moritz had ever come to Tassing, that the shrine to him in the meadow was a statue of Mars, and that the Romans had erected hundreds of years ago, that St. Sadia was a Roman goddess, Diana, he resolved to deal with it. And you resolved to deal with him. Andreas, our people believe in St. Moritz. They believe in the miracles God has worked through his hand. And they believe in the legend of St. Sadia, and she helped Moritz and watched over Tassing still. And that was worth killing the abbot? I believed it was then, yes. If St. Moritz never came to Tassing, what is in the reliquary? What are the pilgrims coming to see? What does it mean for the people who prayed to him, to St. Sadia, and believed their prayers were answered? What does it mean for the church that has given people hope, fixed like a false star in a dark sky? If the people have reason to doubt the validity of the saints, can they doubt the church? Can they doubt the gospel, the word of God? Perhaps some would, but you always told us that we have to accept Christ of our own free will. Yes, of course, but preserving the legends of the saints doesn't interfere with individual volition. You are preserving a lie. I preserved a lie to illuminate greater truth. God so loved the world that he gave his only Son. If you believe this, if you truly believe this, eternal life is yours. And saints have walked among us, and their relics work miracles, and they hear our prayers and answer them. And the two that protect this town were never here. They don't need to know that, Andreas. There are times when God feels so far away from us in these mountains. But a peasant in Tassing can stand in a field, look over our valley, and say St. Moritz was here. God was with us, and he is with us still, and he will be with us always. And that is the truth, even if the legend of St. Moritz is a lie. So many people have died because of what you've done. I know, this is hard to believe, but I was trying to save lives to prevent death. But one murder didn't solve the problem, did it? Because one day Baron Rothvogel rode into town with another copy of Historia Tassae, a copy he promised to give to the abbot so Kyrsa could come to terms with its past. And if Father Gernot read its contents, you would be facing the same danger you saw in Father Matthias. In retrospect, given how Father Gernot chose to run the abbey, my fears may have been unfounded. That sentiment didn't prevent you from doing it again. You're right, it didn't. But then why Otto? Certainly he didn't have anything to do with Historia Tassae. He couldn't even read. In the end, his murder provoked Peter and the others into destroying the abbey. I never thought that would happen. I underestimated Peter's anger and the peasants' frustration. You seem to have a difficult time reading people, Father. It appears that way, yes. I was trying to prevent Otto from showing people what he found. What he found when he was helping to dig the foundation of the rat house. The wall of the aqueduct. Bones, evidence of some other murder, something from our pagan ancestors. The wall of the aqueduct. No, everyone knows about the old aqueduct. That wouldn't cause alarm. What he found was a stone head. The missing head of the statue in the meadow. The statue of the shrine of St. Moritz. How did it wind up over there? The most likely culprits are rain, floods, and time. Black Till told me that farmers find odd tools and pottery in the fields every year. Yes, and this head remained hidden for centuries. It sat in the soil until Otto found it. And he was going to show everyone that God had favored the town with his discovery. What Otto could not know is that our shrine statue was not of St. Moritz, because Otto could not read the words chiseled across the helmet. Mars, Pater. But the man he entrusted with this information, the town priest, could. Yes. And you told him to meet you on St. John's Eve at the rat house. I could not let him destroy our town's beliefs. And you had poor Sister Amelie write down what you told her were visions. Visions she couldn't remember. And deliver them in the dead of night to Guy, to Hannah, to Martin. So that one of them would murder Otto, just as someone murdered Lorenz. What about my father? Sorry, Magdalene. I've lived next to you my whole life, how could you? None of this was easy for me. I always thought I was doing what needed to be done. Was it because of the mural? Yes. Klaus pursued the project with the determination of a guilty man doing penance. He kept digging and digging for answers about Tassing's past, Kearsaw's past. I was afraid that sooner or later he would find out about Moritz, Sadia, this place, everything. So you tried to kill him. No, I tried to scare him. First with the note, but he ignored it. I thought I ransacked the workshop. It would scare him off. I didn't expect him to come down so quickly. It was just an accident. Wasn't an accident. You almost killed him. I know. So what are you going to do now? Kill me? Kill Magdalene? No, of course not. I have neither the means nor the will to do so. But even if I can't stop you from telling people what I've done, I can stop them from finding this place. It's too late for me. I can still take Tassing's secret with me. We better get the hell out of here. Father, you're going to kill us. You're going to kill Amelie. Then leave and take her with you. You could tell the townsfolk what you want, but if you stay here, we'll die together. Can't stop people from learning the truth. Maybe, but I have to try. Father, are we gonna get the hell out of here? Go. You alright? How is Sister Emily? She's still out, but I think she's fine. They must have heard that at the Golden Hand. The entire church collapsing? I'd hope so. What are we going to tell them? What do you mean? About this? About everything? Why wouldn't we just tell them the truth? For the same reason Father Thomas hid it? So we should reward what he did? All the people he hurt? It is better to punish the people of Tassing? What good will it do to tell everyone about St. Moritz and St. Sadia? Maybe Father Thomas was right about that, if nothing else. Maybe it would break their faith. I think he's wrong. I think the people here have enough faith to hear the truth. You know them better than I do. Especially since I've been away so long. You came back after all this time to solve this, but it's hard to feel like we actually accomplished anything. Are we any better off than we were this morning? Father Thomas won't be able to hurt anyone else. Maybe he never would have. I think you're right. We should tell them. About the saint, the Romans, all of it. I hate that doing the right thing feels so awful. I'm sorry. I am too, but I still think it's what we need to do. Then we'll tell them. Good. We should get Sister Amelie someplace warm. We can take her to my house. You'll probably have some explaining to do. A lot, I think. It's been a long time coming. I'm glad you didn't die in that fire. I am too. I think. Merry Christmas, Andreas. Merry Christmas. Oh. Magdalene, you made it back. Andreas and Sister Amelie and I all made it back. Sister Amelie? Was she in the church? I heard a terrible din and the house shook. Is everything alright? I don't think so, Dad, but it will be. You alright, Dad? Yes, I'm sorry. Just tired. Sit by me, tell me what happened. It started in the rat house. Well, the rat skeller. Did you know the back wall was part of the Roman aqueduct? Andreas found the old Roman message there that pointed to the Mithraeum. Huh? So we went into the aqueduct. The section we found must have been closed off for centuries. We found an old Roman bathhouse. We couldn't go through, so we found our way down to a level under the baths. I think Andreas said it was the Hippocaust. Andreas got separated from me. I was really afraid I'd lost him, that we'd both gotten lost down there. But then I heard his voice off in the distance, and I was so relieved. Dad? Are you still listening? Okay. I know it's hard. I mean, I can only imagine how hard it is. But we will all do our best to make you feel welcome when you get here. It's strange to think this will probably be the last letter I send to you. So I will end it with my love, Esther. Magdalene? Yes? I'm sorry to disturb you, but I wanted to let you know that everything is in order. Baltus has ensured that all of the financial matters will be handled. The money will be forwarded to you via the Reichspost as soon as everything is settled. I appreciate it. Please thank him for me. Thank him for everything. Of course, Mr. Struckern. I did not know your father well, but I know that he was well regarded by everyone who spoke of him. It seems that Tassing has lost many things in one man. I'm very sorry. Thank you. Good fortune to you. Well, we're still not done with this. I feel like this is a good place to wrap up this episode because I have no idea how much time is left in this game. But I will say that while I started the episode kind of downtrodden and wanting this game to finally be over with, just like that, I'm interested in the game again, and I've kind of enjoyed the twists and where we are now. So this game has been a very up and down experience for me. I do not like how things have completely changed topsy-turvy and how kind of disjointed and in separate like things it's been. But each time I get towards the end of each section, it starts to get more interesting, and I start to get more wrapped up and involved in that section. But when the new section starts, it loses me. So that's where we are. I'm excited again, and I especially want to know where the hell Andreas is, and am I going to get to play as Andreas again? Because if I have to be frank, this character's fine, but I prefer playing as Andreas. That's just me. Anyway, I'm James Johnson, aka Software This is my content. Hopefully you're enjoying it. If so, please leave a like and subscribe. And until the next time, all, peace.